I think it's good for Amari
going
Cooper.
that route. You're doing that take.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Amari Cooper is a better wide receiver than Davante Adams. I think he's really good. I think he's made a good Bills team better. And spoiler alert, you think the Bills are the sixth best team in the NFL
It's
right
true.
now. So they just got Amari Cooper, dude. I mean, talk to me about Amari Cooper. Are you not a fan of
I am
his?
a big fan of Amari, and
I would imagine you are, considering his career history.
and considering what they gave up for him too. I mean, first of all, I just want to point out that the Cowboys traded up. Yeah,
Nothing?
nothing.
You mean nothing?
Third,
They give up a
a
third and
third
a
and a
seventh
seventh.
and got a sixth and Amari Cooper back? Yeah.
Adding him to what is their biggest weakness at this point is, I would say, a big upgrade for them. They get back Khalil Shakira this weekend too. So I mean, Josh Allen all of a sudden went from having no weapons to having Amari Cooper and his first round wide receiver back all in 1 week.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think that they had a massive drop off in their kind of 3, 4, 5 wide receiver room positions. I think that there was a few dudes coming out looking kind of crafty. I think it's the kind of offense where you can plug and play to a certain extent skill positions with like how Josh Allen plays. I know he had a bad week last week, but he bounced back. And yeah, I'm excited to see Amari Cooper in Buffalo because that is a playoff team. For sure, that's a playoff team. So if he can get in there and start to gel and like be the kind of route runner that I know that he is and be the kind of sure-handed wide receiver that I know that he is, I mean, Mike,
He
I
couldn't
think
catch
we could
anything in
declare the
Cleveland,
Bills
though.
the winner of that division.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I know, but
Well,
like, come on. It's Cleveland.
I mean, who was throwing to him? I mean,
I know.
you got this broken down Deshaun, and then what?
Come on.
I mean, Joe Flacco. But anyway, what I'll say is this: I do agree with you, DK. Like, this is a much better trade in the sense that he elevates everyone else around him on that team, and he's a no nonsense. Like, he's not high drama or anything like that. However,
I mean, if he was, he'd be bitching for the last year, I would imagine, in Cleveland.
and he
right?
didn't.
Like,
But
he
what I
did.
will say though is that the start that Josh Allen's got off to this year with the 10 touchdowns and no picks, I think that's because he doesn't have faith that he has one of those receivers that can catch anything. So he's being more particular about the balls that he's throwing out there. And now he's got Amari. I think you're going to see a slight increase in interceptions, but that's an explosive offense now.
But don't you think
And that's
Amari's
scary.
more like, as opposed to like Stefon Diggs, where it's like, yeah, he kind of was, I think, for a long time that like just put it somewhere, he'll go get it guy, or like you can dump it off to him short and like a play guy. I think Amari's like that kind of crisp route runner that a guy like Josh Allen sort of needs to keep him more disciplined because I think he can get Amari like wide open. Like it's not like, oh, let me put it up where like Amari's going to be in places where he's going to be easy to see. I mean, I guess, like to Bobby's point to a certain extent, like I am kind of thinking about Cowboys Amari Cooper, not Cleveland Amari Cooper. I mean, I don't think that the drop off is like should be studied or anything at this point. Like, surely he's still the same dude, age, like injury history. It's just the fact that he was in Cleveland. Do you really think he's fallen off, Bob?
I mean, to the point where this year he leads the league. I think he leads the league in drops right now. So
Okay, well that means he got targeted a lot, right? I mean, fantasy owners at the very least should be happy.
I just want to point out though that Bobby, you may be looking at this through your rosy-colored cowboy star glasses, because in his last year in Dallas, he had 1,100 yards. In his first year in Cleveland, he had 1,200 yards. Last year, he had 1,200 yards. Some would say that there's been no fucking drop off.
it might just be
because
Watson.
Of Deshaun
It might just
Watson.
be Watson.
Right,
It might just be Watson.
Like he caught 1,200 yards with PJ Walker and Joe Flacco last year. So
he actually looked pretty good with Flacco. Flacco looked good with him, especially towards the end of the season. I mean, yeah, to me, it's like when quarterbacks are playing bad, they're not just not completing passes. They're also like putting their wide receivers in danger. They're not like reading the routes outside. They're not. I feel like Amari Cooper is probably just going to be like, I'm not catching it. I feel like you could go back and tape and attribute at least some of his drops to like, I'm not fucking catching that just so I can get lit up, which I think was happening a lot on the Cleveland Browns this year, right? I just think it was such a mess that it's like, why am I going in there to die for nothing? Like I think you've seen it with Davante. It's like where he's just like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, you're gonna get me fucking killed out here. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. But if I had Amari Cooper, I would be pretty pumped, fantasy wise. Same with
Yeah,
Davante.
no, I was
Like,
just making
Davante.
comment. It's a big move for the Bills. It really is. When it
No, I know. I mean, I know it sucks for you because you used to have the guy.
I am a big Amari fan. I am, and we gave him up. What
Yeah,
makes this movie worse is the Cowboys gave him up for a 5th-round pick, and then 2 years later, the Browns got a 3rd-round pick for him. How the fuck do you figure that?
I know.
How does that make any sense at all? Cowboys are fucking trash.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I honestly thought he should have gone for more personally, but that's just me. All right, well, that's all the big news from this week.